Hello, this is Mrs. Politsky, and I have notes for Business Law, Chapter 4, Section 1. What are crimes? Well, crime is a punishable offense against society, and criminal punishments are offenses against the just the victim, not society. Elements of a crime, things that have to be proven during a trial. A duty to do or not to do a certain thing, such as a federal or state statute against a certain action or an ordinance. An act or omission in violation of a duty. So a breach of duty is a criminal act. Breach could be proved in a trial by testimony of a witness. Criminal intent must be proved in most cases, and the defendant had to intend to commit the act or intended to do some kind of evil. Embezzlement, this is a criminal conduct of taking another's money or property without a person to whom it has been in trust. Criminal, the criminal is liable under the doctrine of vicarious criminal liability. The criminal intent of an employee is used as a substitute for the requirement of criminal intent for an officer. Age of reason, this is under common law, typically is under the age of 7, but in the United States, typically we see roughly the age of 14 when an individual is presumed to know the difference between right and wrong. Today, criminal liability at 18, but the range can be anywhere between 16 and age 19. Some statutes provide that a child as young as age 7 could be tried and punished as an adult. Criminal intent, one must have sufficient mental capacity to know the difference between right and wrong. And this might have a factor when we talk about individuals who might be mentally ill. So criminal conduct, certain classifications of crimes. So crimes against a person, which would include assault and battery, kidnapping, rape, murder. Crimes against property, that would be things like theft, embezzlement, robbery. Crimes against the government or the administration of justice, such as treason or tax evasion, perjury. Crimes against peace or public peace and order, such as rioting or disorderly conduct or illegal speeding. Crimes against realty, which would be burglary, arson, trespassing. Crimes against consumers, like fraudulent sales of securities, like fraudulent sales of mutual funds or stocks. Violation of the Pure Food and Drug Act, and then crimes against decency, such as bigamy, being married to more than one person at one time, obscenity, or prostitution. Classification of crimes. A felony is any kind of crime punishable by confinement of more than a year in a state prison or by a fine of $1,000 or even both. And you can take a look here at some different incidences that might warrant a felony. Perjury is an example of that is lying under oath. That's typically 2 to 3 years in prison. A minor item would be a misdemeanor. This is a less serious crime punishable by confinement in a county or city jail for less than a year, or fine or both, like disorderly conduct. Speeding would be an example of that. An infraction is a lesser misdemeanor. This would be no risk of jail, but you would probably pay a fine, such as parking violations, littering would be examples of that. Business-related crimes are sometimes known as white-collar crimes. These are offenses that are created or that happen in the business world. They don't involve force or violence, but they at times could do financial damage to an individual. So evading income tax, defrauding consumers, embezzlement, bribery, things of that nature. When we talk about white-collar crimes, we might talk about antitrust laws. These are laws that competing companies may not cooperate in fixing prices and dividing sales regions. Larceny, this is kind of what theft is. It's the wrongful taking of money or personal property belonging to someone else with the intent to deprive them. You're not breaking an entry, but you've been given the stuff and then you kind of take it as your own. Robbery is a variation of larceny, but you're entering a building without permission with the intent of committing a crime. And you can see some examples of that. Receiving stolen property. Knowingly receiving stolen property consists of either receiving or buying property known to be stolen. False pretense. This is one who obtains money or property by lying about a past or existing fact. Sometimes we call it fraud. Forgery is falsely making or materially altering a writing to defraud somebody else. Bribery is unlawfully offering or giving anything of value to influence the performance of an official. And commercial bribery is bribing non-government parties, so that would be like bribing a business leader or such. Computer crimes. This has created a lot of problems with criminal law, and it's always changing. Extortion, sometimes known as blackmail. This is obtaining money or property from a person by wrongfully using force or fear or power of office. Conspiracy is an agreement between two or more persons to commit a crime, typically committed in secret. Arson is the willful and illegal burning of a building, intentionally starting it to typically defraud an insurer. Thank you very much.